Start game now.
Welcome retro fans to another edition of the Notes for Gamer. Today I want to take a look at some books I found at a thrift store when they were having a deal where you could buy 4 books for $1. So I picked up these 4 Garfield books, which was quite a cool find in my opinion. Garfield is written by Jim Davis. Nowadays, as he's getting up there a little bit in the years, he kind of just does rough sketches and the storylines. But nowadays, back in the old days, he did it all. Started back in 1978 in June and features Garfield, a lazy lasagna-loving cat, and his owner, John Arbuckle, and is set in Muncie, Indiana. And one of the things that the books like to poke fun of is Garfield's weight. As you can see in these titles, bigger than life. Garfield tips the scales, he rolls on, and he makes it big. So constantly poking fun at his weight there. When it ran in papers, what would happen is after about 6 months of strips got done, they would collect them into one of these books. And these books are basically kind of like half-size books. It kind of look like someone took a book and they chopped it in half. And they collect 6 months worth of strips, more or less, in these books. Now, at the beginning, they'll have a little featurette. Like right here, we have Garfield's 10 all-time favorite bad cat jokes. And at the back, you would have another feature, The Shocking Truth Revealed, about Garfield just being a robot. But in between, you'd have all these drawings. Now, back when they first came out, they would be in all black and white. Nowadays, when they release the books, they release them in full color and they're full size. So they're now more this size than this kind of half book size as well. Nowadays, if you want to get a book, the retail on them, I think, is something like $14. You can also get collections of 3 of the old books put together, and the retail on that, I believe, is something like $17. But if you go on a place like Amazon, you can usually find them between $10 and $12. And right now, they're currently on the 58th book in the series. One of the interesting things that Jim Davis did was he retained ownership of the Garfield series. Usually, these comic strips are owned by syndicates that run them in various papers. He owns the whole thing. And nowadays, according to some estimates, Garfield brings in anywhere from $750 million to $1 billion a year. That is a lot of cats stuck on windows. That is amazing. I never realized how much money a comic strip could bring in, but this one is definitely one of the more popular ones. One of the things that was kind of interesting in the books, especially if you look at the older ones, is you learn some things that you may not have noticed before. For instance, let's see if I can find it. Did you know that Odie was not originally owned by John Arbuckle, but was originally owned by his friend named Lyman? Let's see, there it is right there. This is Lyman, who has like this weird, almost tentacle-like mustache going on there, and he is the original owner of Odie, but later on John would own him. I'm not sure exactly how that worked out, but yeah, Odie the dog was not originally owned by John. And there's the nurse who he's now dating, the vet actually who's now dating, and he constantly flirted with her. And you could also kind of tell the early styles was a little more rough around the edges, and as Garfield went on, he got a little more rounded into the shape we know today. Another interesting thing I found in one of these books is we actually find out who Garfield's mother is. Basically, it turns out he was abandoned, I guess, or taken away or something along the lines. But later on, we find out that he gets to meet his mother one day. Let's see if we can find, where's the mother? Oh, there it is. This is Garfield's mother. Yep, he meets her, and she's kind of like a rough street cat living on the streets, kind of rough. He hangs out with her for a while, and then he goes back home, and he basically says, "I love you, Mom, but I'm also very grateful for the family I have today." It was a cute little kind of Christmas time story going on there. And on the back of this, you can kind of see some of the other titles that were coming. You can kind of see the difference in the art style. Check out what Garfield looked like in his first book. He was really really big, but he wasn't as streamlined, I guess you could say. He gets a little bit rounder. He was more of a blob. So he kind of evolved as it went on with the years. If you want to find books like these on eBay, they typically go for about maybe $4 or $5 a piece, and that includes shipping. And they're really, really cheap to collect, especially if you get in bundles. And I think it's still a good read even today. It won't take you too long to go through 6 months of strips, maybe an hour or less, but still a good time. So there you go. A very family-friendly and fun book, comic strip that I would approve of and recommend that you check out if you ever run into one of these in a thrift store that doesn't overcharge or garage sale or something like that. So there you go. Thank you guys for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here on the No Swear Gamer. Take care, everybody, and don't eat too much.